My name is Ethan Walker, and for 3 years I believed love was enough to silence every question in my mind. Ethan, you worry too much, Damian Moretti said as he adjusted his cufflinks. I worry because you disappear every month, and I always come back. That's not the point. He smiled, walked over, and touched my cheek. Then what is the point? The point is that I'm your husband, and you're the only person who matters to me. I wanted to believe him. Damian was powerful, wealthy, and feared by people who lowered their voices whenever his name came up. I had given him my old life to be with him. In return, he gave me a beautiful home, security, and what looked like endless devotion. But our marriage came with one rule: never follow him when he left on his monthly business trips. The first time he told me, his tone was gentle. The second time, it sounded serious. By the third year, it felt like a command. Why can't I come with you? I asked one evening. Because my work is dangerous. You always say that. Because it's true. Dangerous how? He looked away. The less you know, the safer you are. I folded my arms. That answer stopped working a long time ago. Ethan, no. I'm tired of pretending this is normal. He stepped closer. I need you to trust me. I do trust you. Then let it go. I nodded, but the doubt stayed. A week later, Damian was preparing for another trip. I was walking through the hallway when I heard his voice from his office. The door was slightly open. I said, "Keep him away from that area." Damian snapped. Silence followed. Then he spoke again. "If anyone finds out, everything falls apart." My stomach tightened. I leaned closer. "No mistakes this time," he said. "Do you understand?" The call ended. I quickly moved away before he noticed me. That night, I barely slept. The next morning, Damian acted normal. "Coffee?" he asked. "Sure." "You look tired." "So do you." He laughed. "Long week." I stared at him. "Is something wrong?" "No." "Are you sure?" "Yes." The answer came too quickly. Hours later, he returned home unexpectedly. I heard the front door open. "Damian," I called. "In the kitchen," he answered. When I entered, he was removing his jacket. That was when I saw it. A dark red stain on his white shirt. Blood. My heart stopped. "Damian," I whispered. His eyes immediately dropped to the stain. Neither of us spoke for a second. Then I said, "What happened?" "Nothing." "That's blood." "It isn't mine." "That doesn't make it better." He sighed. "Tell me the truth." "I can't." "Can't or won't?" "Both." I felt anger rising. "You leave every month. You hide things. I hear secret phone calls. Now you come home covered in blood. Lower your voice." "No." "Ethan." "No." "Talk to me." His expression hardened. The warmth I loved disappeared from his face. "I'm handling something important." "Important enough to lie to me?" "I'm protecting you." "From what?" "You don't need that answer." I shook my head. "You promised we wouldn't have secrets." "Some secrets are necessary." "That's not a marriage." His jaw tightened. Then he said the words I had heard countless times. "Never follow me." I stared at him. "That's all you have to say?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because if you do, you could get hurt. Or because I'll discover what you're hiding." His eyes turned cold. For the first time in years, I felt afraid of him. "Never follow me," he repeated. Then he walked away. The conversation ended, but my fears did not. For days, I replayed everything. The phone call, the blood, the warning. None of it made sense. Each explanation created new questions. Finally, the night of his next trip arrived. Rain hammered against the windows. Damian kissed my forehead. "I'll be back in 2 days." I forced a smile. "Safe travels." "Thank you." For a moment, guilt stabbed through me. Maybe I should trust him. Maybe I should obey the one rule. Then he picked up his bag and left. I watched his car disappear into the rain. My pulse raced. "Don't do this," I whispered to myself. But another voice answered. "Find out the truth." 10 minutes later, I grabbed my keys. My hands were shaking. "I'm sorry, Damian." I got into my car and followed. The city lights faded behind us. The streets became emptier. The buildings grew older. Rain blurred the windshield as I kept a distance. "Where are you going?" I muttered. Damian's car finally turned into an industrial district. Rusting warehouses lined the road. Broken fences surrounded abandoned lots. Nothing about the place looked connected to business. I parked far away and watched. Damian stepped out his car. Without hesitation, He entered a large abandoned building. The door closed behind him. I stared through the rain. Every instinct told me to leave. Instead, I opened my car door, and I realized my life was about to change forever. The rain soaked my clothes as I slipped out of my car and moved toward the abandoned building. My heart pounded so hard that I could hear it. "Just one look," I whispered. "Then I'm leaving." I didn't believe my own words. The front entrance Damien had used was locked, but I found a side door hanging slightly open. I stepped inside. The warehouse looked deserted. Dust covered the floor. Broken machinery sat in dark corners. "This can't be right," I muttered. Then I noticed fresh footprints. I followed them. At the far end of the building, a metal elevator waited behind a hidden wall panel. The doors were already closing. I rushed forward and squeezed inside before they shut completely. The elevator moved down. Far down. Much farther than any normal basement. What the hell is this place? When the doors opened, I froze. The underground level looked nothing like the warehouse above. Marble floors stretched in every direction. Crystal lights hung from the ceiling. Expensive artwork decorated the walls. Men in suits walked through the corridors. Several carried visible weapons. It looked like a luxury hotel hidden beneath the city. Except everyone looked dangerous. I quickly stepped behind a column. "Stay calm," I told myself. A pair of armed guards passed nearby. "Room 147 is secured?" one asked. "Of course," the other replied. "Mr. Moretti arrived 10 minutes ago." My stomach tightened. "Damien." I waited until they disappeared. Then I carefully followed the signs pointing deeper into the hotel. Every hallway seemed heavily monitored. Security cameras watched every corner. More guards stood outside certain doors. Nobody paid attention to me yet. Most people seemed busy. That luck wouldn't last forever. After several minutes, I finally spotted Damien. He was walking beside a tall man with silver hair. Both looked serious. I ducked behind a decorative statue. The silver-haired man spoke first. "Victor is already waiting." Damien nodded. "Good. Everything remains under control." "It better." They continued down the corridor. I followed from a distance. Eventually, they stopped outside a door. Room 147. Four armed guards stood outside. Nobody entered without permission. The silver-haired man knocked twice. The door opened. Damien stepped inside. I waited. My pulse hammered in my ears. "Think, Ethan." A service hallway branched off nearby. I slipped into it. The narrow passage ran behind several rooms. Maybe maintenance workers used it. Maybe hotel staff. I didn't care. All I knew was that it might get me closer. After moving carefully through the dark corridor, I found a small ventilation opening. Light shone through. Voices drifted toward me. Room 147. I crouched beside the vent and looked inside. The sight stole my breath. A young man sat handcuffed to a chair. He looked terrified, and he looked exactly like me. My blood turned cold. "No," I whispered. The resemblance was impossible. Same hair, same eyes, same face. He could have been my twin. Inside the room, Damien stood near a table. Another man sat across from him. I recognized him immediately. Victor Salazar, one of the most feared Mafia bosses in the country. Victor smiled. "Your duplicate remains useful." Duplicate. The word hit me like a punch. Damien remained silent. Victor continued. "The financial transfers have worked perfectly." "No complications?" Damien asked. "None." "What about government audits?" "We redirected everything." Victor leaned back. Millions moved through dozens of identities. The young man lowered his head. I could see tears in his eyes. "What about him?" Damien asked. "He stays here." "For how long?" "Until we finish." My breathing became uneven. Victor laughed softly. "You worry too much." "I don't like loose ends." "Neither do I." Victor pointed toward Noah. "That's why he remains locked up." The frightened man finally spoke. "Please." Nobody answered. "Please let me go." Victor smiled. "Not happening. I haven't done anything." "You were born looking useful." Noah closed his eyes. I felt sick. Damien stared at him. For a brief moment, I thought I saw guilt on his face. Then it vanished. Victor turned toward Damien. "The Ethan project has exceeded expectations." My entire body froze. The Ethan Project. What about the original records? Damien asked. Destroyed. And the replacements? Perfect. Victor chuckled. No one suspects there could be more than one Ethan Walker. I nearly stopped breathing. More than one. The room spun around me. Questions exploded inside my head. Who was Noah? Who was I? What do they mean by more than one Ethan Walker? Victor poured himself a drink. Your husband remains completely unaware. Damien didn't answer immediately. Finally, he said, leave him out of this. Interesting. He knows nothing. Yet, Damien's voice hardened. He stays protected. Victor laughed. Protected from the truth? The silence that followed terrified me, because Damien never denied it. My hands trembled. Everything I believed about my life suddenly felt uncertain. A sound echoed behind me. Click. I turned. A guard stood at the end of the service corridor. His eyes narrowed. What are you doing here? My heart stopped. I ran. Stop him, the guard shouted. Alarms immediately began ringing. Footsteps exploded behind me. He's heading north. Don't let him escape. I sprinted through the narrow passage. My lungs burned. The corridor opened into the main hotel. People jumped aside as I raced past. Get him! Armed men poured from multiple hallways. One grabbed for my arm. I twisted away. Another appeared ahead. I changed direction. Block the exits. The hotel erupted into chaos. I raced around a corner. Gunmen followed. The distance between us kept shrinking. I could hear their footsteps, hear their shouting, hear death getting closer. Then I heard a voice that terrified me more than anyone else's. Find Ethan. Damien. I didn't know if he wanted to save me or silence me. At that moment, I wasn't sure which possibility was worse. I ran faster, and the hunt had only just begun. I didn't stop running until I reached my car. My hand shook so badly that I almost dropped the keys. Come on, I whispered. The engine started. Seconds later, I sped out of the industrial district. My heart pounded the entire drive. Room 147. Noah. The Ethan Project. Nothing made sense. By sunrise, I knew there was only one person I could trust. Olivia Carter, my old college friend. Olivia had become an investigative journalist after graduation. She spent her life exposing corruption, scams, and powerful people who thought they were untouchable. If anyone could help me find answers, it was her. I arrived at her apartment just after 7 in the morning. She opened the door wearing sweatpants and holding a coffee mug. Ethan, Olivia, you look terrible. I need help. Her expression immediately changed. Come inside. Minutes later, we sat across from each other. What happened? She asked. You probably won't believe me. Try me. I took a deep breath. Then I told her everything. The secret hotel. Room 147. Victor Salazar. The duplicate. The Ethan Project. When I finally finished, Olivia stared at me silently. That's insane, she said. I know, but you're serious. Yes. She leaned back. Then let's find out what's real. For the next several hours, Olivia worked from her computer while I paced around the room. She searched public databases, old news archives, government records, anything connected to my name. Eventually, she frowned. That's strange. What? Your records are inconsistent. I stopped pacing. What does that mean? It means pieces don't match. Explain. She turned the monitor toward me. According to this database, your driver's license history starts 12 years ago. So, according to another database, it starts 10 years ago. I stared at the screen. That's impossible. Exactly. She clicked another file. Look at this. What am I seeing? Hospital records. My stomach tightened. What about them? You were involved in a serious accident years ago. I blinked. No. Yes. I've never been in a serious accident. Olivia pointed at the screen. The records say otherwise. That's wrong. Maybe. She looked thoughtful. Or maybe somebody wanted you to forget. The room suddenly felt colder. My phone started ringing. Damien. I immediately rejected the call. A second later, another call arrived. Then another. Then another. Olivia raised an eyebrow. Your husband? Yes. You should answer. No. Why not? Because I don't trust him. The phone buzzed again. A text message appeared. Ethan, please talk to me. I deleted it. Another arrived seconds later. You're in danger. I ignored that one too. Then another. I can explain everything. I laughed bitterly. 3 years of lies, and now he wants to explain. Olivia watched me carefully. Do you still love him? The question hurt. I don't know. That's not really an answer. I looked away. Maybe that's because I don't know who he is anymore. The phone finally stopped ringing. For a moment, silence filled the room. Then Olivia's computer made a notification sound. What's that? I asked. She frowned. Someone just sent an encrypted message. To you? No. Her eyes widened. To you. My pulse quickened. Open it. She clicked the file. A single sentence appeared. They are watching both of us. Below was a name. Noah Reed. I froze. Noah. Olivia stared at the screen. How is that possible? I don't know. A second message appeared. If you want the truth, keep reading. Olivia quickly copied the data before it could disappear. More text appeared. I was told we share the same history. I don't know which one of us is the original, but they changed everything. My hands trembled. What does that mean? Olivia shook her head. Keep reading. Another message arrived. The program involved stolen identities, fake records, money laundering, witness protection files. People were moved, renamed, and erased. My mouth went dry. This can't be real. The final message appeared. Find your original records. That is where the truth begins. Then the connection disappeared. Olivia immediately started typing. What are you doing? Following the digital trail. Can you find him? Maybe. Minutes passed. Then 30. Then 60. Neither of us spoke much. The tension kept growing. Finally, Olivia leaned forward. I found something. What? A sealed archive. Can you access it? Working on it. I sat beside her. My chest felt tight. Please tell me this is leading somewhere. It is. Good. Because I was losing control of everything. My marriage. My identity. My past. Nothing felt solid anymore. Even my own memories seemed uncertain. Had I really forgotten an accident? Had someone changed my records? Had my entire life been built on a lie? Olivia suddenly smiled. I got it. What? The archive. She opened a hidden government database. Several files appeared. Most were heavily restricted. Then one folder caught her attention. Ethan Walker, she whispered. My heart nearly stopped. She clicked it. A warning appeared. Restricted record. Unauthorized access prohibited. Open it, I said. Olivia nodded. The file slowly loaded. Document after document appeared on the screen. Medical reports. Identification records. Government correspondence. Then we found something buried deep inside the archive. A scanned birth certificate. Not the one I had known my entire life. A different one. Olivia stared at it. I stared at it. Neither of us spoke. Because for the first time, we were looking at what appeared to be my original birth records. And the name written on the document was not Ethan Walker. Olivia and I stared at the screen for several seconds. Neither of us spoke. Finally, I forced myself to breathe. Read it again. Olivia swallowed. The name on the birth certificate is Daniel Hayes. That's impossible. I know. No, seriously. That's not my name. It might have been. My legs felt weak. I dropped into a chair. Daniel Hayes. The name meant nothing to me. Yet somehow it was attached to my face. My birthday matched. My place of birth matched. Everything matched except the name. This can't be happening. Olivia continued reading. There's more. Tell me. She opened another document. The records mention your father. What about him? He wasn't an ordinary man. My stomach tightened. Who was he? A financial investigator. I frowned. What does that mean? He worked with federal authorities. Olivia scrolled down. Then her expression darkened. Oh my God. What? Ethan, or Daniel, whatever your real name is, your father was preparing testimony against Victor Salazar. The room became silent. Victor? Yes. How? He uncovered financial crimes. Olivia read from the file. Money laundering, illegal transfers, shell companies, international accounts. I remember the conversation inside room 147. Millions moved through dozens of identities. Suddenly, everything connected. What happened to my father? Olivia opened another report. He disappeared before he could testify. My chest tightened. Disappear? Yes. That's a nice word for murder. Olivia didn't argue. Because we both knew the truth. I looked at the screen. So Victor killed him? Probably. And me? She pointed to another document. That's where things get complicated. I leaned closer. Explain. After your father vanished, people inside the system panicked. What people? Government officials. Witness protection coordinators. Investigators. She continued reading. They believed Victor would target you next. So they hid me. Yes. Ow. By erasing Daniel Hayes. I stared at her. And creating Ethan Walker. She nodded slowly. Your identity was completely rebuilt. My head spun. Everything I believed about myself suddenly felt fake. My childhood. My records. My history. Someone had rewritten all of it. Why didn't they tell me? Because children reveal secrets. I closed my eyes. So they took my life away. Maybe they thought they were saving it. A knock suddenly echoed through the apartment. Both of us jumped. Another knock followed. My pulse accelerated. Who is that? Olivia whispered. I walked toward the door, then froze when I looked through the peephole. Damien. It's him. Olivia stood. What do you want to do? I stared at the door. Part of me wanted answers. Part of me wanted him gone forever. Another knock. Ethan. His voice sounded exhausted. Please. I slowly opened the door. Damien stood there alone. Rain covered his coat. Dark circles surrounded his eyes. He looked like a man who hadn't slept. For several seconds, we simply stared at each other. Then I spoke. How did you find me? I've been looking everywhere. What? His expression cracked. Because I was terrified. I laughed bitterly. Terrified? Yes. That's funny coming from you. Ethan, don't. The word came out harder than I intended. Damien lowered his eyes. I deserve that. Yes, you do. Silence filled the room. Finally, he said, Can we talk? Why? Because you're learning things without context. Then give me context. His shoulders slumped. Not here. No. Please. No. I pointed at the floor. You want to talk? Talk. Damien nodded. Then he looked directly at me. Everything started before I met you. I know. Victor wanted you dead. I know that too. His eyes widened slightly. You found the files. Yes. Damien looked toward Olivia. She folded her arms. I read everything. He sighed heavily. Then he looked back at me. I was assigned to monitor you. The words hit harder than I expected. Assigned. Yes. By who? People trying to keep you alive. I laughed. That's supposed to make me feel better? No. Good. Because it didn't. Damien continued. My job was simple. Watch me. Yes. Report on me. Yes. Lie to me. His silence answered. Pain stabbed through my chest. How much was fake? His eyes immediately met mine. Not my feelings. I looked away. I don't believe you. You should. Why? Because it's true. I shook my head. For 3 years you lied. I know. You manipulated me. I know. You built our marriage on secrets. His voice broke. I know. I stared at him. Then I asked the question that terrified me most. Did you ever love me? Damien answered instantly. Yes. No hesitation. No pause. Just certainty. Yes. The sincerity in his voice hurt more than any lie. Because part of me believed him. And I hated that. I don't know what to do with that. You don't have to decide today. Good. Because I wasn't ready. Suddenly Damien's phone rang. He answered immediately. The color drained from his face. What? Silence. Then his expression became alarmed. No. He looked at me. We have a problem. What happened? Victor knows. My stomach dropped. Knows what? That the files were accessed. Fear filled the room. What does that mean? Damien ended the call. It means he's cleaning up loose ends. Olivia stepped forward. Loose ends. Damien looked directly at her. You. The word had barely left his mouth when a loud crack exploded through the apartment. Glass shattered. Olivia screamed. I watched her fall backward. Olivia. Another gunshot blasted through the window. Damien tackled me to the floor. Get down. More glass exploded. The apartment erupted into chaos. I crawled toward Olivia. Blood covered her shoulder. Olivia. She groaned. Alive. Thank God. Outside, another shot rang out. Damien pulled a handgun from his coat. They found us. My heart pounded. Ooh. He looked toward the shattered window. Victor's assassins. And suddenly I realized the truth wasn't just destroying lives anymore. It was starting to kill people. The first thing I heard was Olivia groaning. The second was Damien shouting orders into his phone. Get medical support now. I knelt beside Olivia. Stay with me. She forced a weak smile. I'm trying. Blood stained her sleeve, but the bullet had passed through her shoulder. Painful. Dangerous. But survivable. Thank God. Minutes later, Damien's people secured the building while paramedics treated Olivia. As she was loaded into an ambulance, she grabbed my hand. Don't stop now. I won't. Victor is scared. How do you know? She smiled painfully. Because desperate people make mistakes. Then the ambulance doors closed. I watched it disappear. You should go with her, Damien said. I turned toward him. Why are you helping me? His expression tightened. Because I love you. That's becoming your answer to everything. Because it's the truth. I wanted to argue, but I couldn't forget what happened inside the apartment. Damien had thrown himself in front of gunfire without hesitation. The memory stayed with me. Unfortunately, so did the lies. 3 days later, the war against Victor officially began. Not with bullets, with evidence. A detective named Ryan Foster secretly contacted us. We met him in a secure location. Ryan looked exhausted. You have no idea how long I've been trying to build a case against Victor. Damien crossed his arms. Then why isn't he in prison? Because witnesses disappear. Ryan looked at me. Until now. I frowned. What changed? You. The answer surprised me. Ryan continued. Victor is making mistakes because he's obsessed with controlling the situation. Good. Very good. He opened a folder. Now we need proof. That became our mission. Gather evidence. Expose Victor. Survive long enough to do it. None of those tasks were easy, especially because Damien and I had to work together. One evening we sat alone inside a safe house. Neither of us spoke for several minutes. Finally, Damien broke the silence. You haven't forgiven me. No. I understand. Do you? Yes. I looked at him. Then tell me why I should trust you. His answer came immediately. You shouldn't. The response surprised me. What? You shouldn't trust words. Then what should I trust? Actions. For once, I had no response. Because actions were exactly what he had been giving me. Over and over. Every day. A week later, Noah finally contacted us again. This time through a secure video call. His face appeared on the screen. He looked exhausted. Ethan, are you safe? For now. Ryan leaned forward. We need evidence. Noah nodded. I have files. What kind? Financial records. Ryan's eyes widened. Can you send them? Yes. Noah hesitated. There's something else. What? Former members of Victor's organization want out. My pulse quickened. What? Because they're scared. Noah smiled grimly. The empire is cracking. That turned out to be true. Over the following days, more people abandoned Victor. Former accountants, lawyers, smugglers, middlemen. One by one, they disappeared from his side. The strongest blow came from an unexpected source. Marco DeLuca, Victor's longtime lieutenant. When Ryan told us, even Damien looked shocked. Marco betrayed him? Ryan nodded. Completely. Why? Ryan opened another file. Because Victor planned to eliminate him too. I laughed bitterly. Victor really inspires loyalty. Fear isn't loyalty, Damien said quietly. The statement lingered in my mind. Eventually, Marco agreed to meet us. The location was a shipping warehouse near the docks. Ryan hated the idea. It's a trap waiting to happen. Marco shrugged. Then don't come. We came anyway. The warehouse was enormous. Cargo containers filled the building. Rain hammered against the metal roof. Marco stood near a table stacked with documents. You wanted evidence? Ryan nodded. Yes. Marco pushed a box forward. Everything is there. What is it? Financial records. Enough to destroy Victor? Marco smiled. Enough to bury him forever. For the first time, victory felt possible. Then gunfire erupted. Everyone dove for cover. Ambush, someone shouted. Chaos exploded across the warehouse. Bullets smashed into containers. Men screamed. Ryan pulled his weapon. Move! I ran behind a crate. More gunfire followed. Victor's men were everywhere. Ethan! Damien shouted. I looked up. A gunman was aiming directly at me. Before I could react, Damien tackled me aside. The bullet struck metal behind us. Are you insane? I yelled. Probably. Another burst of gunfire interrupted us. Across the warehouse, Noah suddenly appeared. "What are you doing here?" I shouted. "Helping." He fired toward the attackers. Then everything happened at once. A gunshot echoed. Noah staggered backward. Blood spread across his shirt. "No!" He collapsed. I sprinted toward him. Damien followed. "No!" He winced in pain. "I'm okay." "You got shot." Unfortunately, Ryan and his team finally gained control of the situation. Victor's remaining men retreated. The warehouse slowly became quiet. Paramedics rushed toward Noah. As they treated him, he grabbed my arm. "Listen, save your strength." "No." His voice trembled. "You have to finish this." "We will." "You have to stop him." "I know." Noah squeezed my hand. "Promise me." "I promise." Hours later, Ryan secured the evidence. Marco entered witness protection. Noah survived surgery. Victor's empire was collapsing. Everything seemed to be turning in our favor. That illusion lasted exactly one day. I was leaving a temporary safe house when a van screeched beside me. The door flew open. Masked men rushed out. Before I could react, something slammed into the back of my head. Pain exploded through my skull. My vision blurred. I heard shouting, running footsteps, then darkness. When I finally opened my eyes, my hands were tied. A single light hung from the ceiling, and sitting across from me was Victor Salazar, smiling, waiting. The final confrontation had begun.